Welcome back, everybody. Today's topic is all about the home inspection. I think it is a very important topic that a lot of people tend to overlook in the home buying process. So, what exactly is the home inspection? Well, we'll jump right into that, but my name is Josh Parker, your Austin Realtor, and I want to explain the ins and outs of a home inspection, as well as why it's important to make sure that you get that done on a home that has previously been lived in. So, jump right into it. There are 5 major components that I consider to be absolutely critical when you're looking at a home inspection report, and a lot of factors that don't necessarily mean good, bad, or indifferent, but I focus on these main 5 because, let's face it, these 5 are going to make sure that you live comfortably in your home for a long time. So, what are the 5? Well, we're going to start with number 1, and that is your foundation. So when the inspector goes out there, you've made that offer, they've accepted it, you are into your option period, and that inspector goes out there. One of the items that he looks at is your foundation. Now, he is not a foundation expert, and so all he can do is notice major cracks, sloping. They do some tests to make sure that the foundation is relatively level. None of them are going to be perfectly level, but you do have some tolerances that you are allowed in a slab. And so when they're doing that inspection and they're inspecting the foundation, they're looking for any cracks on the outside. They're looking for any major crack or stress fractures on the inside. They're looking for slope, so they lay a ball down, and if it rolls one direction, then they know that that foundation could be off level. Now, at that point, with the inspection, he's going to notify you, he's going to notify me, and we are going to put a timeout and get a specialist out there. Now, yes, that is an additional fee to your inspector cost, but it is well worth it if you are dead set on the home. So, that's number 1 on my list because, let's face it, foundation is what builds your home. It's what it sits on. It's how it stays standing up other than your framing. And it is by far the top priority because if you have a bad foundation, that cost can go anywhere from $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 depending on how much work has to be done. So it is a major factor in what I pay attention to. Next up on the list is your roof. Again, just like your foundation, if your roof isn't functioning and it lets water in, the rest of your house will start to deteriorate and you're going to spend a lot of money at the end of the day making repairs. And that's not something that you want to do when you first buy a home and move in. And so that inspector is going to look for missing flashing, old shingles, and let us know if it's at the end of its life. If there's missing shingles, if there's nail pops, flashing missing, whatever it is, they are going to make sure that those items are notated and addressed, and it gives us an opportunity once we get that report back to go back to the seller or to back out during our option period. Now, the next 3 items I am going to lump into one because they all go side and side with each other, and that is your plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. Now, why are these 3 important? Well, we're in Texas and we get multiple days over 100 degrees. You want your AC to function and work properly. You don't want to be caught in 100-degree weather trying to sleep at night when it's 85 and 90 in your house. It's just not comfortable. I've had to do it because an AC went out and I couldn't get anybody out. So they're going to look at the coils. They're going to look at the ductwork, at the vents. They're going to look at your electrical panel. Make sure that the breakers are the right sizes. They're going to look to see if you have aluminum wiring depending on the age of the home. Plumbing, they're going to look for any visible leaks. They're going to make sure your lines drain properly. They're going to make sure that the faucets turn off all the way. These reports are very, very thorough. And so the home inspection is such an important aspect that I think a lot of people don't put any focus on, because it's not the exciting part of buying a home. But it is critical in making sure that you are comfortable once you move into that home. Now, in Texas, you have an option and an earnest period, and so it's 2 separate fees. Now, the good thing about having the option period is it typically gives you 5 to 7 days to get this inspection done, make a decision on whether it's worth proceeding with buying the home or backing out of that deal. And at the end of the day, if you choose to back out, you're only out that option money, which is typically a few $100 and not a few thousand versus your earnest money. And so the home inspection and this report that you're going to get from the home inspector, who, by the way, is licensed by the state of Texas, it's going to run you $400, $500, $600 depending on how big the home is. Do you have a septic? Do you have a well? But the report itself is going to be anywhere from 20 to 40, 50 pages long, because these guys are very, very thorough. Now, they're going to point out your holes in drywall. They're going to point out, a nail pop on the siding. I mean, it gets that detailed because, let's face it, these guys have a job to do and they are licensed to do it. And they're also going to point out things like building code changes. So if you're buying a 5 or 10-year-old home, well, building code 10 years ago is completely different than it is now. And so they have to point out these items. That doesn't mean that the home was built poorly. It doesn't mean that it was built wrong, but it's not up to today's standards. And so that's why I say I focus on these 5 items, and I don't get bogged down on 40, 50 pages of inspection notes, because I know that if these 5 items, your foundation, roof, plumbing, electrical, and HVAC, are all sound, are all functioning and operating the way that they should, then at the end of the day, when you move into that home, you're going to be comfortable. You're going to be able to just relax and enjoy being a homeowner. And then the rest of it is general maintenance and upkeep with owning a home. So I hope this helps. If you have questions, let me know. Hit up the comment section below. Shoot me a personal email. I'm glad to help out, and we'll see y'all soon.